Hello, Fidelma Greene here. Thank you for watching the replay, and I'm here today to talk about miracles. I was inspired this morning to talk about this because it just came into my mind. I had been watching a video of Gabrielle Branston. It's The Universe Has Your Back, and as I listened to her, I was saying, oh my God, I can identify so much with her and talking about miracles. So I said, why not talk about them myself in my business? And that's why I decided to come on today and do a live. So what is a miracle? A miracle is something that happens that you think is impossible, okay? And it becomes a reality. Hi Inga, thanks for joining. And today I want to talk about 3 tips that I've used in my life when I was looking for a miracle in my life. And normally what happens is, for me, my experience has been that I was in a situation where something was not working the way I wanted it to work. For example, the picture that I showed for this, that I used for this Facebook Live, are my twins. And when I look back at that time in my life, back in, when were the twins born? 2008. We had been trying for for children for a long time. I'm not going to go into the whole story about when I had my first baby, but when it was around the twins, a miracle happened on them because they were twin to twin. They had twin to twin syndrome, and there was a whole likelihood that they may not survive. And at week 21, I discovered that was a possibility. That they had this very severe condition. So when I was told this, myself and my husband were told this in the hospital, I just had to totally... Hi Tina, thanks for joining. And Inga, thanks for joining. So in that moment, when we were told about this, I went in for my normal scan and didn't know what was going to happen. I'd only found out, a few weeks beforehand that we were having twins, that I was carrying twins. And then they actually said to me, you've got to sign this form now because this is a very serious condition. And I'll never forget, in that moment, I had to surrender. So what does it mean? It believes that there's a higher plan beyond you. It believes it's a miracle-minded belief, and it's a mindset that miracles can happen. And I guess I had practiced that before in my life, so I was used to the concept. Because we'd had our first child, and she was a miracle after 14 years being married. Many people thought we wouldn't have kids, and we did. We defied a lot of people's mindset on that one. So when it came to the twins, and in that moment, it was quite a scary moment, but I surrendered to my higher power in that moment. I put my total faith and trust. So when I went into that operating table, I had no fear. I had total trust. And I can't say the same how my husband was outside while he was waiting for me. But I remember going in with Professor Fergus Malone from the Rotunda. I went into surgery, and they carried out that laser surgery on me at week 21 while I was still carrying the twins. And, I just handed it over. And some people may say, what is a higher power? For me, a higher power is a God within. And you're saying, why am I talking about this today? Because I feel inspired to talk about it. It's my story, it's part of my life and part of who I am. And I work best when I be authentic. And, so it's to believe. The first tip is to be miracle minded, to have that mindset that things are possible. Okay. So when they done the operation, they said to me, Fidelma, we can't tell you now, this is week 21, you won't know until the twins are delivered. It was going to be a C-section at week, I think it was week 34 they were being delivered. It's so long ago now, I've lost track of the exact week that they were delivered. But you won't know now until then that things are going to be okay. They balanced the situation and they dealt with it and they were happy. So I had to walk out that door and live my normal life for the next number of weeks, which I did, in total faith. that things would be okay. So it's, have the mindset of miracles, and then you have to keep the faith. When things are just maybe, you might be tending to think of fear. People, we're all conditioned with fear. But when you shift into a miracle mindset, it becomes your way of life. And I suppose I've had this for such a long time. I don't talk about it publicly too often until today. But it's like, it's part of who I am now. Okay? It doesn't mean that I don't have pain and I don't have sadness. They're parts of life. But it's to believe that miracles are possible, even in the worst conditions that you may be facing. Okay? So that's the first one. And then when you're setting the intention, you have to set an intention for whatever it is, the outcome you want. So that time with my twins, and when I went for that operation, I set the intention that it was totally in the higher power's hand and in the hands of the professionals, that things would go okay. And they did go okay. They went perfectly. Because I didn't know straight away, and I had to wait those number of weeks, it was a total trust that things were still going to be okay. And when you set your intention, it's to totally believe that the highest good will come from the situation. And the highest good did come from our situation. The twins were born, they were tiny, they were premature. One was £3.10, I think, and the other was £4.1. But it's like they were born and they were perfect. And, so I let go in the situation. I did not spend the next number of weeks sitting worrying about it. I think I didn't even tell half my family that this was the condition, the seriousness of the condition. But that wasn't the point. It was the faith, because I didn't want to create fear around it. I wanted to believe that this was going to work perfectly. Hi Lorraine, thanks for joining. So again, if there's something that you're looking to change in your life or to bring about in your life, it's not to really get set in your mind of what the outcome is going to look like, And for me, when I think of that situation, I didn't think of the outcome. And I was so over the moon at the time when the twins were born. I think I rang the Rotunda and I just said, look at it, if there's ever anything I can do for you, just let me know. I was just so delighted. I think I told the consultant when I went in for my checkup after the twins were born. But it ended up that I did do something for the Rotunda. They asked me to come in and to do an interview for them, which ended up on TV. I think I have it on my laptop somewhere. I might share it with you on this page. But it's like, that was me just being in the moment, being present to what's happening, and not trying to control it, and just let the miracles happen. And the miracles did happen, and now today in my work, I work with people who are miracle minded. I get the best results with those people because the language I talk is about miracles. And if I'm having to convince you about miracles, it's not going to work. So it's to really, really, if your life or your business or where you're at, it's to really believe in the possibilities, in infinite possibilities, because they are there. But it's up to us. Inside each of us, we have that potential, and inside each of us, we have the possibilities to create what we really, truly desire. But the thing is, we have to let go. We have to let go of the control and the steering wheel, or whatever it is that you're holding on tight to. You just got to let go. So this morning, I decided I'm letting go here. I'm going to talk from my heart about what I believe to be true. And that's why I said I do this Facebook Live today. So there are the 3 tips. Have the miracle mindset. Then you've got to surrender. You've got to let go. And then you've got to hold the intention of what's the outcome you want. But you've got to let go. You can't hold on and say, I want it to work as X, Y, Z. Because that's not how it works. You're not in control. There's a higher power, a higher source in control. So I hope I've inspired you today. Sometimes when you want change and you want something to be different in your life, you got to be willing to trust totally in this higher self, and the higher power. And, years ago, older people would have a different faith. They would pray rosaries upon rosaries, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. I pray myself, but it's in a different way. and in a way that is aligned with me. We all have our own ways of spirituality, and thanks be to God today, things have broadened so much that I can come on a Facebook Live and talk about how I use my spirituality in my everyday life. But the difference is now, I just don't use it in my life. I use it in my business. I use it to make decisions. Is this right for me? Is, the decision that I'm making, am I meant to be working with X, Y, Z? Is this right for me? If it's right, it will happen. There's no doubt about it. Hi, Aileen. Thanks for joining. I'm talking about miracles, and I was listening to your Facebook Live earlier, and it was beautiful. And it's about believing in that this other dimension, that we are spiritual beings, and that it is possible to bring miracles into our lives. And the more we talk about this, the more we can shift from this fear mindset. And I'm not perfect. Sometimes I have wobbles and I go backwards, and I have those moments of doubt, and then I get reminded. I have loads of friends who are miracle minded as well, and I get reminded that we have to trust in the possibilities, in those infinite possibilities, and to enjoy and to cherish the even small miracles. Like yesterday evening, I was going to a football match. Hi, Dervla, thanks for joining. I was at a football match with the twins yesterday evening, and Caitlin, our eldest girl, she came with us. I'm not always punctual for things, so I wanted to be there on time. So we arrived, I Google mapped, I got the directions from my husband, and I went, and we all went off for the football match, okay? And it's a GAA match, okay? And we were on the way, we arrived at the football field, and we were there. And this is, when I think of it, this was a miracle. I was saying, yahoo, I've arrived on time. It's 6 o'clock. We're here at the football field. And then the twins were saying, Mommy, those girls are very big. They're older than us. And I was saying, okay, Mommy, we don't recognise anybody here. And I'm kind of, oh my God, we're at the wrong football field. So the miracle in that is, before I would beat myself up and say, oh my God, what am I doing? Hi, Suzanne, thanks for joining. Before I would kind of beat myself up and say, oh, I'm in the wrong place with the kids for the football, we're going to be late. And I said, no, let's girls, we'll get in the car. I asked the people beside us, and they said, no, this is a soccer field. The GAA field is up the road. You've got to turn right, turn left, turn this way, turn that way. And I said, okay, got your directions. I get in the car with the girls, and I said to the girls, do you remember those directions? Because I don't. And the girls were going, oh my God, Mom. See, I don't take in information the same way everybody else does. I follow my gut instinct when I'm getting directions. So we went up the road, we got into Clonee. We ended up going into a petrol station, and then I got the directions again, and it wasn't far. We eventually found it. We did take a few detours along the way, but we got there. And then when I was in getting the directions in the actual station, there was a lovely 99 machine there, and the girls had seen a guy going out with one, and they said, oh Mom, we'll get one of them after. So after the match, I watched the match, actually, and this is only my second football match that I've gone to see them play. Actually, I watched Caitlin before, and this is the first time to actually see the twins playing a football match. And these are the twins now that I'm talking about, the miracle. And when I seen them playing, now, if I'm to be honest, I haven't gone to all the matches because my husband normally does that, but he's off with his mum at the moment. So I had to go to the match. And as I was standing there at the side, I'm kind of amazed at the speed of these twins running up and down the field, and the tactics and the manoeuvres, because I ain't one for sports, girls, or anybody watching me here. I ain't the sporty type. Hi, Tina. So I was standing there watching this football match, and I'm kind of amazed at, they're a miracle in front of me, because it's not from their mother that got the GEA. It's definitely from the dad, and because he's a big GAA supporter. So it's like I'm watching this and I'm saying, oh my God, I'm so glad I came here to see this, and just, they did win just by a point, but it's not the winning. When they're under nines, it's not about the winning, it's about the participating. But the miracle was that I was there. Okay, we were a few minutes late, but somebody else was later, so it didn't really matter. They played the match. And on the way back, hi Pamela, thanks for joining. We're talking about miracles here and kids and everyday miracles, okay? So on the way back, we were going by the petrol station, and we actually got lost going back from from the actual football field. We didn't go back the same route, but we came back into Clonee, okay? And the girl says, "Oh, Mom, can we have that ice cream?" And I said, "But we missed it." And they were going, oh, they were just so disappointed. And I said, okay, we'll go back and get it. I went up the road, turned around the roundabout and came back down to that petrol station and went in and got them the 99s. I'm telling you, the 99s were that height. And the girls, I didn't get one for myself because I had to drive home. And they still hadn't eaten their dinner, but I said, I don't care. In this moment, that 99 brought so much joy to those three kids. They were just enjoying it so much. That was a miracle for me to experience that joy with them, that simple joy. So I'm telling you this because you know what? I've been so busy in my business trying to make it work, do things that maybe didn't resonate with me. And instead I come on here and I talk about miracles and I talk about the simple things. And for me, that's a miracle. You know, because I'm no longer hiding who I am. I'm being authentic. And, you know, when we become real, when we become authentic, then people can connect. It's when we hide who we are. And I tell you, I hid who I was in my business for so long that I'm no longer hiding. So it's like, these are the miracles that I had yesterday evening. We came home, we had dinner. One of them didn't really like the dinner. It didn't matter. But it was in that evening I had such an experience of, because of the situation, I had to go to the match. Okay, I got lost and then we got found and then we had great fun and then they scored a goal and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But it's in the simple little things that are the miracles. The big things are miracles too because, you know, those twins are running around and they're as healthy as anything, you know. And I'm not going to go into other miracles I have had in my life. Hi, Gwen, thanks for joining. And I'm talking about miracles here. And for me, hi Karen, thanks for joining. God, this is the biggest Facebook Live I've ever had because it's, hi Karen, you know, I'm talking about something that I really love, you know, and the more we talk about what we love, the more that we connect with people and the more that we can actually bring joy into this world, you know, and even in the midst of a crisis or the midst of sadness, there's joy also because, you know, I've seen it in the last week. You know, it's the moments of just being challenged and pure sadness even that you can see something and appreciate it. I'm going to share something here now at the moment, and my husband has gone off because his mother is not too well, and this is my mom-in-law, and I love her to bits. And last week, she just totally amazed me. You know, she wasn't... we lost our sister-in-law last week, okay? And... I didn't expect to cry. But when you lose somebody you love... Okay, bear with me. Deep breaths, Fidelma. Okay. I'm talking about my sister-in-law, Linda. She passed away last week. And it's, you know, 1 minute I'm talking about joy and the next minute I'm talking about, you know, it's sadness. But this is our life, you see. We have to experience sadness, but experience joy. The two extremes, they're there. That is our life. But it's, you know, from being there with the family and, you know, being there, just connecting. In the last few weeks, I've connected with my own family as well, through situations. And it's when we connect, when we actually allow ourselves to feel. I know it's okay to cry, Inga. It's like, it's the human side of me coming out again. You know, I haven't cried on a Facebook Live for a while. But it's like, when I saw my mother-in-law actually last week, you know, the shock of the whole thing, she wasn't able to just go to the funeral and all that, but she had a moment where she wanted to go to see Linda, and she did go to see Linda, who was resting at home. And I mean, she was being laid out at home, and the day before her funeral. And my mother-in-law went there, Kathleen, and you know, I was just totally touched by what I wasn't there in her presence, but I believe it was like a magical moment where she actually said a prayer with Linda, with the family, and the priest was saying the prayer. But as the priest said, in that moment, everybody was touched by the pure faith that my mother-in-law had. And, you know, she came out with a deep prayer that meant a lot to everybody in the room at that time. And I suppose, why am I saying that? That was a miracle, you know, because this week, my mother-in-law, you know, she's sick in hospital. So I'm asking to send prayers her way, you know, to help her. And why am I telling you all this? It's about miracles. For me to come on here and just speak from my heart and to talk about real things, rather than to come on and talk about things that are not miracles. They're examples of miracles that have happened in my life. Some are big, some are small. But it's just thanks, Aileen, sending love. Yeah, it's just to, you know, to be able to just speak from the heart and to allow whatever's happening in our lives to happen, because we're powerless, and to accept that there is a divine intervention happening, you know, and that we're not in control. Yeah, lots of prayers being sent. Thanks, Karen, you know, and I'm still kind of going, oh my God. I should have known coming on this Facebook Live, when you talk about tender things, there's bound to be tears, you know, and that's okay. That is okay. So look, I'm going to wrap up here now. I've probably gone on a little. Things that resonate with everyone, touches people deeply. Then, yeah, it is, because we all experience them. We can have moments of pure joy and moments of pure sadness. And we're all the same. We're spiritual beings here having a human experience, and you know, it's to just love ourselves unconditionally, and love everybody around us unconditionally, our family, our friends, our colleagues. So look, I hope I've inspired somebody today, and thank you all for joining. And yeah, tears are good. It's a release, yes, because I have kind of been walking around a little bit, trying to do some work, be here with the kids, and still just get on with things. But it's okay, you know, life is okay. In this moment, all is well. And thank you all for joining, and I feel your presence, and I really appreciate you being here. And it's been a beautiful Facebook Live, and I'll hope to see you again soon. Take care. From Fidelma Greene, Conscious Business Mentor. I work with miracle-minded women who really want to make a difference. So if you want to talk to me offline, please. Tina's saying, totally, you're an inspiration. Oh, look at Tina, thanks a million. You're an inspiration too, Tina. You know, each of us are an inspiration. We all have it in us. And whatever our gift is, it's about just showing up and being truly ourselves. That's what it is. So bye for now. Thanks. Fidelma Greene, Conscious Business Mentor. Bye-bye.